Hey, good evening. This is Rusty with Chappie Trails. Just want to get things started off. And kind of did an announcement post last week, channel renaming, etc. And I figured it's about time we get things started. It's been a long time, and I've been away and doing some other thing. And figured I'd give you guys an update on life for those that were watching me before. I didn't have a lot of subscribers, still don't, but that's all right. We'll get to those it needs to get to. So I got married in 2020, and to a wonderful woman that the Lord directed to me. I was being stubborn at the time, and she just waited me out and kept praying for me. And finally one day she sent me a scripture, and the Holy Spirit punched right through my heart, and boom, there it was. And it's been good. She's a good woman, real prayer warrior, which is what I need, definitely. And especially when we're working in ministry, we need those prayer warriors behind us. And she's in tune with the Spirit, which is good. And so it's been interesting. So we got married, right in the beginning of the pandemic. So that was interesting. And she moved to Indiana, and 11 days later they let her go, due to COVID. So we had a little while for a job search, and the Lord provided the entire time, and made it so that we could pay our bills just through His immaculate grace, etc. From there, one day, she just, we were actually talking about a church we were at. We weren't super excited about it. And I won't go into detail on that. And I said, we need to find a new place. And she looked at me and she says, "We're going home." And I had no idea what that was. I said, "Well, where do you feel at home is?" And she thought for a second and waited on the Spirit. She goes, "Ohio." So at the time I was working doing telephone systems, 911 systems, and I'd only been with the company a little less than 5 years. And so I just said, okay, that's it. And a couple of months later, they were offering a package for people to leave early, and I'd only been there 5 years, so mine was tiny. And but we stepped out in faith and just trusted on the Lord. I wasn't super excited about leaving grandbabies, but we go where the Lord sends us, and we're still a reasonable driving distance from Him, so that's a blessing. So took that package. People told me I was nuts. I was 52 at the time, and they were basically saying, "You're crazy at 52 to quit your job," and etc. I said, this is what the Lord wants me to do. So we did. Went a couple months searching, and then the Lord provided. I got a job with one of the mobile carriers here in Ohio, and we got a cute little acre. I'm just gonna kind of go around it real quick. A lot of it's still messy. We're doing some spring cleanup, etc. Tammy's planting some flowers right now as we speak. Her and her daughter Brittany, and like I said, it's been good. It's been some challenges since we moved here. 7 months after we moved here, I was let go from my job because I didn't take the vaccine, and so I'm not going to talk about whether that's right or wrong. It just wasn't right for me. I honestly believe that I'm vaccine damaged from the anthrax vaccine back when I was in the Navy and stationed at the Pentagon. So I wasn't willing to take another one, especially one that hadn't been proven, wasn't truly approved in the United States. What they were giving us wasn't what was approved. That was only available in Europe. But I'm not meaning to get in that whole discussion, This is about you, me, and the Lord. We're going to talk about some cool stuff like recumbent trikes and getting outdoors and enjoying the Lord. And we'll just loving on them a little bit. Sometimes you just got to get away, and sometimes you need a secret spot, and sometimes you just got to be away from the noise. So for me, that's out on the trail, and I enjoy it quite a bit. Some of it was due to health, getting a little older. I wasn't eating right, and got type 1 diabetes, and I walked into my doctor's office one day and they said, your A1C is 9.6. I was like, that doesn't work. They didn't even have to explain how bad that was. So basically I got a couple recumbent trikes used on a deal from a gentleman who was moving and offered me an excellent deal on 2 of them. So I got one for me and one for Tammy. And we'll go into that in a minute. So that recumbent trike, a little bit of diet change. Exercise is the thing. And so I got my A1C down from 9.6 into normal levels, or higher normal levels, in about 3 months. And that's just 1, the Lord, 2, the exercise, 3, diet change. And rather than going on metformin with all the side effects, I actually use berberine. It's an herbal that has the same efficacy as metformin, but without side effects. It shares a few side effects like nausea, but they're less common and less intense. So, and luckily I didn't go through any of that, other than taking the gel caps. I'm not a big fan of gel caps in my stomach. So basically, that's what started the search for some way to exercise that works for me. So a lot of people don't know this, but I also have lupus, and that's what came from that anthrax machine. I'm positive of it, because that's when all my bodily issues started. Not that I'm in horrible health, but it'll take a toll on you sometimes. I have my good days and my bad days. So another part of the channel will be lupus education, and not to leave the ladies out, but a lot of it will be geared towards men as well, because as a male, when you go into a doctor's office, it's really hard to get that diagnosis and get treatment started. Had I realized what was going on years earlier, my life would be completely different now. But I look at it this way: I'm exactly where the Lord needs me to be. I have a treatment option that helps me maintain, and so that's excellent. That's excellent. So we both have faith, and we also believe in medical science, but that medical science has to be proven. And it's a beautiful day out here. We got a little traffic. I live kind of alongside of I don't want to call it a major highway. It's more of a state highway. It gets a little busy sometimes. So you'll hear that noise in the background a little bit. And like I said, the Lord's just taking care of us. So when I left T-Mobile, I got hired at another mobile carrier. I got fired on a Friday and had a new job started Monday with a raise, which was excellent. And now I'm working, a couple jobs different later. Those were contract jobs, so kind of minimal here and there, but there was never a gap. Not a day unless I chose there for be a day just to get a little break before I moved on to the next one. As a contractor, you don't really get days off. So here I am, working for Amazon in a data center. I love it. Love the people around me. They're great people. Pretty awesome. Very diverse workplace. I love that too. Makes the job interesting and a little more enjoyable. Just meeting a lot of different people from a lot of different places and different backgrounds. So here I am. So if I can figure out how to flip this thing around, because the iPhone's being weird on me today. In fact, I'm not even going to mess with it. So this is the first trike here. This is a TerraTrike Rover. And this is what got me started on my journey. So this is kind of cool. This is 20-inch wheels. Has SBD pedals, clip-in pedals. Or they call them clipless, but kind of clipping in. And it was great. This seat, though, isn't exactly made for a heavier guy. And the material is not as strong as on my new trike. So it has a little stretch to it, and that would hit me right in the tailbone. So we actually have a fantastic recreational therapist at the VA in Columbus. And through the VA and the recreational therapy program, I had to show her that I knew what I was talking about and why it worked for me and the differences between my old bike and the new bike that I wanted. And they actually paid for this one. So this Orange Beauty right here, forgive my camera shaking, my camera skills. I'll work on them as we go. I'll probably get a GoPro or something eventually. This is called the Catrite Max. So this is built for larger folks, heavier folks, a little wider. So the seat is actually 16 inches wide versus 14 inch. So it's not pressing in on the pressure points on my hips. It also sits a little higher. It actually sits at normal dining room chair height. So getting in and out of it is a lot easier. In addition, well, I don't even think I'll edit that out because I think it's funny, but I might. We have these assist bars. So these help you get in and out, kind of maintain your balance as you're maneuvering through all the stuff to get on the bike. And so that's really helpful. In addition, this seat is adjustable. So I can actually adjust the position where I couldn't on the TerraTrike. And that helps me find my most comfortable spot. So also this boom here is adjustable in and out. So if I want to share my trike with Tammy or get out with another vet, I've actually agreed to work with some other vets to help them determine if a trike is right for them. So that's part of why they paid for that adjustable part for me, which is kind of cool. Plus that helps me find my sweet spot. So everything's about finding a way to move, like I said before, that works for you. It could be a trike for you. It could be kayaking. It could be a regular bicycle. I can't sit on a regular bicycle. A lot of you know I was in a car accident back in 2015, actually on Valentine's Day. 30-car pileup. Same semi hit me 3 times. That's a video for another time. I'll show you guys pictures, and I'll give you the testimony of how the Lord works for me in that. So we've got a few upgrades here also. I put some panniers on the back of the bike. I like these. They were fairly inexpensive on Amazon. I think they were around $65, but I could be wrong. I was looking at a couple different ones. Of course, we got our helmet and gloves. And this glowy stuff you see in the background, I actually had a cross on the back of the trike for a little while that was lit up orange. This stuff is bendable any way you want to move it. I power this off of a Ryobi 40-volt inverter, which also charges my cell phone and eventually will charge cameras and that kind of stuff. And I have to rebuild the cross. It was way too big and it swung back and forth, and it wasn't really safe for other riders on the trail for me to have it that way. I did one test ride it and decided to take it off until I rebuilt it and beat some things up, and so it's not swaying back and forth. What I like about the orange is, one, is it kind of matches the color of my trike, and two, it also isn't super bright. So it's a safety thing, one, so it makes me a little more visible on the trail. And the other thing is, it lets people know, hey, this is the guy, if you need him to stop and pray for you, this is the guy. And I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to talk about the Lord. If you just want to have a regular conversation, I'm down with that too. But just know that, while I won't preach at you, like a lot of folks do, I will often give biblical answers because that's what works for me. And I forgot to mention, this bike also has e-assist. So on those days, this is actually the Bosch motor on here. And it gives me just a little extra oomph for the hills so I don't have to overdo it. Like my wife is right now, carrying a big old 50-pound bag of sand. But and so that just helps me through the tougher hills. And if I start flaring up and my legs get weak, then I have a way to get home without calling Tammy and say, hey, get the truck and come get me. I can just do a nice, slow, easy pedal. and put the boost on max, and it does the job. It does the job. I kind of overdid it one day on the distance, and so that came in real handy. So that's kind of about it for the updates, pretty much. It kind of lets you know where I'm coming from. I kind of wanted to do this before I got rolling, because there was a lot of wind noise in the last video, and so I got a set of AirPods. We're going to see how those do, and we're going to check out the noise cancellation throughout this video. So this one might be a little choppy, but worst case scenario, I have a big old trucker's headset by Blue Parrot that actually, I think it's the BXT 350 or the 400. I think I have one of each of those. I'm going to try them both on the trail and see how they do, both just sitting in the wind and how they do while I'm moving, because I really like to talk to y'all while I'm moving, if I may, and we'll see how those mics do, and I'll let you know. Actually, you'll be able to hear it in the video, so that'll be fantastic. It'll be a good test for those. They're a little older, so we'll see. But Blue Parrot has excellent noise cancellation of the stuff around you. I used to use them when I was working wireless in the field outside in heavy winds and by highways, so they're pretty good. But I never did them. Tried using it while I was on a bike, and probably won't be able to. I'll have to figure out how to fit that around the helmet, or trike, you're not as concerned with the helmet on the trail. Out on the roads, you definitely want to wear a helmet. But we'll figure that out. So the other thing we're going to talk about is faith. We're going to kind of start over and talk about that mustard seed, and how the mustard seed kind of is your start into the faith and your walk with Christ. That tiny little seed is kind of what gets you there. So what a lot of folks miss when they teach about the mustard seed is the fact that Jesus talks about planting it, and the fact it turns into a tree that the birds can nest in. So we're going to talk about that, because what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to take our faith, we're supposed to walk with the Lord daily, pray without ceasing, and we are to cultivate that faith and grow it. I mean, you plant something in a garden, you can't just walk away and expect to harvest it in the fall, or if you do, it's not going to be all that good, if it makes it. So just like the stuff we plant in the garden, you reap what you sow, but there's also a process in between. So it's not just reaping and sowing. So we're going to deep dive on that. We're going to talk about how to make your walk stronger with the Lord. We're going to learn together. And the thing I want to highlight the most, more than anything, is, and this is going to sound crazy, never trust a word I say. Always take it to the Word. Always take it to the Word and prove it or disprove it. And feel free to have a conversation, whether it's private or public, because if you make it public, as long as it's constructive and not being, all up in the face, then we can have an honest conversation, and perhaps we'll both learn something new. Or even if one of us learns something new, then that's fantastic. And then anybody reading that, they also possibly learn something new. So that's a good deal. So as long as I feel I'm walking in the Spirit, we have faith, we're going to keep moving, and we're going to keep talking. So that's the channel. So this is kind of the real introduction of Chappie Trails and where we're going. And I forgot to mention, I served as interim pastor at a church for a little while, which was an excellent experience. It came with a few lessons as well, but I honestly think it made me stronger. So it kind of tore me down a little bit, and then I remembered who I was in Christ, and we got up, and man, every lesson the Lord teaches you is a blessing, and that's fantastic. I just can't say how fantastic. I feel so blessed right now. Tammy, like I said, I got a prayer warrior, and that makes my heart feel so good when I know that she's got my back, and whether it's on the day-to-day, because I have my bad days, and she covers things that she shouldn't need to cover, and she does it without complaint. In fact, sometimes when I'm still like, no, I'm going to go do this, she sneaks out the door and tries to get it done before I get outside. She loves to zoom on the mower though. So she loves to beat me to the mower. Although we got stuff in the yard that she has allergies to. There's some kind of jumping mite. So we got a good healthy yard, but we got some kind of jumping mite out there, and it bites her, and she doesn't do real well with that. So I try and get out there and do the mowing. So I kind of feel like, in a way, I babbled in circles, but I think you have a good idea of where we're going. I hope my walking around hasn't made you dizzy. If it does, feel free to let me know. Like I said, we're going to try and do this from the bike. I'll probably pick up some kind of camera, and I'll work out the microphone situation. This isn't meant to be high production, high quality video. I just want you all to be able to hear me, enjoy some of nature with me, and see what God's doing. And who knows, maybe we'll meet some folks on the trail together, and we'll talk, and we'll see where that leads. We'll see where the Lord takes it. But anyways, I love you guys. Peace out. I'm gonna do a little editing, have this up in a day or two. See if we can't clean some things up for you. Man, I love you guys, and I'm glad to have you on this journey with me if you're willing to come. All right, y'all have a great day. If you like what you hear, share it out. I know we're kind of young. You kind of don't know where I'm coming from yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm not young. The channel's young. You know what I'm saying. But anyways, I love you guys. Peace out. God bless. This is Rusty with Happy Trails.